Chapter 3, Human Reproduction. As you are aware, humans are sexually reproducing and viviparous. The reproductive events in humans include formation of gametogenesis, that is, sperms in males and ovums in female, transfer of sperms into female genital tract, insemination, and fusion of male and female gametes, fertilization leading to formation of zygote. This is followed by formation and development of blastocyst and its attachment to the uterine wall, implantation, embryonic development, gestation, and delivery of the baby, parturition. You have learned that these reproductive events occur after puberty. There are remarkable differences between the reproductive events in the male and in the female. For example, sperm formation continues even in old men, but formation of ovum ceases in women around the age of 50 years. Let us examine the male and female reproductive systems in human. 3.1, the male reproductive system. The male reproductive system is located in the pelvis region. It includes a pair of testes along with accessory ducts, glands, and the external genitalia. The testes are situated outside the abdominal cavity within a pouch called scrotum. The scrotum helps in maintaining the low temperature of the testes, that is 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the normal internal body temperature necessary for spermatogenesis. In adults, each testis is oval in shape with the length of about 4 to 5 centimeter and a width of about 2 to 3 centimeter. The testis is covered by a dense covering. Each testis has about 250 compartments called testicular lobules. Each lobule contains 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules in which sperms are produced. Each seminiferous tubule is lined on its inside by two types of cell called male germ cells, spermatogonia and Sertoli cell. The male germ cells undergo meiotic division, finally leading to sperm formation, while Sertoli cells provide nutrition to the germ cells. The regions outside the seminiferous tubules, called interstitial spaces, contain small blood vessel and interstitial cells or Leydig cells. Leydig cells synthesize and secrete testicular hormone called androgen. Other immunologically competent cells are also present. The male sex accessory ducts include rete testes, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferens. The seminiferous tubules of the testes open into vasa efferentia through rete testes. The vasa efferentia leave the testes and open into epididymis located along the posterior surface of each testis. The epididymis leads to vas deferens that ascends to the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. It receives a duct from seminal vesicle and opens into urethra as the ejaculatory duct. These ducts store and transport the sperm from the testes to the outside through urethra. The urethra originates from the urinary bladder and extends through the penis to its external opening called urethral meatus. The penis is the male external genitalia. It is made up of special tissue that helps in erection of the penis to facilitate insemination. The enlarged end of penis called glans penis is covered by a loose fold of skin called foreskin. The male accessory glands include paired seminal vesicle, a prostate, and a paired bulbourethral gland. Secretion of these glands constitute the seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium, and certain enzymes. The secretion of bulbourethral gland also helps in the lubrication of the penis. 3.2, the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries along with a pair of oviduct, uterus, cervix, vagina, and the external genitalia located in the pelvic region. These parts of the system, along with the pair of mammary glands, are integrated structurally and functionally to support the process of ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth, and childcare. Ovaries are the primary female sex organ that produce the female gamete ovum and several steroid hormones known as ovarian hormone. The ovaries are located one on each side of the lower abdomen. Each ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeter in length and is connected to the pelvic wall and uterus by ligaments. Each ovary is covered by a thin epithelium which encloses the ovarian stroma. The stroma is divided into two zones, a peripheral cortex and an inner medulla. The oviduct, fallopian tubes, uterus, and vagina constitute the female accessory ducts. Each fallopian tube is about 10 to 12 centimeter long and extend from the periphery of each ovary to the uterus. The part closer to the ovary is the funnel-shaped infundibulum. The edges of infundibulum possesses finger-like projections called fimbriae, which helps in the collection of ovum after ovulation. The infundibulum leads to a wider part of the oviduct called ampulla. The last part of the oviduct, isthmus, has a narrow lumen and it joins the uterus. The uterus is single and it is also called womb. The shape of the uterus is like an inverted pear. It is supported by ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. The uterus opens into vagina through a narrow cervix. The cavity of the cervix is the cervical canal, which, along with vagina, forms the birth canal. The wall of the uterus has three layers of tissues: the external thin membranous perimetrium, middle thick layer of smooth muscle myometrium, and inner glandular layer called endometrium that lines the uterine cavity. The endometrium undergoes the endometrium undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle while myometrium exhibit strong contraction during the delivery of the baby. The female external genitalia include mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, and clitoris. Mons pubis is a cushion of fatty tissue covered by skin and pubic hair. The labia majora are fleshy folds of the tissue which extend down from the mons pubis and surround the vaginal opening. The labia minora are paired fold of tissues under labia majora. The opening of vagina is often covered partially by a membrane called hymen. The clitoris is a tiny finger like structure which lies at the upper junction of the two labia minora above the urethral opening. The hymen is often torn during the first coitus or intercourse. However, it can also be broken by sudden fall or jolt, insertion of a vaginal tampon, active participation in some sports like horseback riding, cycling, etc. In some women, the hymen persists even after coitus. In fact, the presence or absence of hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity or sexual experience. The functional mammary gland is characteristic of all female mammals. The mammary glands are paired structure breast that contains glandular tissue and variable amount of fat. The glandular tissue of each breast is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes containing cluster of cells called alveoli. The cells of alveoli secrete milk which is stored in the cavities lumen of alveoli. The alveoli opens into mammary tubules. The tubules of each lobe join to form mammary duct. Several mammary ducts join to form a wider mammary ampulla which is connected to lactiferous duct through which milk is sucked out. 3.3 Gametogenesis. The primary sex organs, the testes in male and the ovaries in female, produce gamete, that is, sperms and ovums, respectively, by the process called gametogenesis. In testes, the immature male germ cells, spermatogonia, produce sperms by spermatogenesis that begins at the puberty. The spermatogonia, singular spermatogonium, present on the inside wall of seminiferous tubules, multiply by mitotic division and increase in numbers. Each spermatogonium is diploid and contain 46 chromosomes. Some of the spermatogonia, called primary spermatocytes, periodically undergo meiosis. A primary spermatocyte completes the first meiotic division or reduction division, leading to formation of two equal haploid cells called secondary spermatocytes, which have only 23 chromosomes each. The secondary spermatocytes undergo the second meiotic division to produce four equal haploid spermatids. What would be the number of chromosome in the spermatids? The spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa or sperms by the process called spermiogenesis. After spermiogenesis, sperm's head becomes embedded in the Sertoli cell and are finally released from the seminiferous tubules by the process of spermiation. Spermatogenesis starts at the age of puberty due to significant increase in the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH. This, if you recall, is a hypothalamic hormone. The increased level of GnRH then acts at the anterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of 2 gonadotropin, utilizing hormone LH and follicle stimulating hormone FSH. LH acts at the Leydig cells and stimulates synthesis and secretion of androgens. Androgens in turn stimulate the process of spermatogenesis. FSH acts on the Sertoli cells and stimulates the secretion of some factor which helps in the process of spermiogenesis. Let us examine the structure of sperm. It is a microscopic structure composed of a head, neck, a middle piece, and a tail. The plasma membrane envelops the whole body of sperm. The sperm head contains an elongated haploid nucleus, the anterior portion of which is covered by a cap-like structure, acrosome. The acrosome is filled with enzyme that help fertilization of the ovum. The middle piece possesses a numerous mitochondria which produce energy for the movement of tail that facilitate sperm motility essential for fertilization. The human male ejaculate about 200 to 300 million sperms during coitus, of which for normal fertility at least 60% sperm must have normal shape and size and at least 40% of them must show rigorous motility. Sperm released from the seminiferous tubules are transported by the accessory ducts. Secretion of epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, and prostate are essential for maturation and motility of sperms. The seminal plasma, along with the sperm, constitute the semen. The functions of male sex accessory ducts and glands are maintained by testicular hormones androgens. The process of formation of a mature female gamete is called oogenesis, which is markedly different from spermatogenesis. Oogenesis is initiated during the embryonic development stage when a couple of millions gamete mother cell oogonia are formed within each fetal ovary. No more oogonia are formed and added after birth. These cells start division and enter into prophase 1 of meiotic division and get temporarily arrested at that stage, called primary oocytes. Each primary oocyte then gets surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells and is called a primary follicle. A large number of these follicles degenerate during the phase from birth to puberty. Therefore, at puberty, only 60,000 to 8,000 primary follicles are left in each ovary. The primary follicle gets surrounded by more layers of granulosa cells and a new theca and are called secondary follicle. The secondary follicle soon transforms into a tertiary follicle which is characterized by a fluid filled cavity called antrum. The theca layer is organized into an inner theca interna and an outer theca externa. It is important to draw your attention that it is at this stage that the primary oocyte within the tertiary follicle grows in size and completes its first meiotic division. It is an unequal division resulting in the formation of large haploid secondary oocyte and a tiny first polar body. The secondary oocyte retains bulk of the nutrient rich in cytoplasm of the primary oocyte. Does the first polar body born out of the first meiotic division divide further or degenerate? At first, we are not very certain about this. The tertiary follicle further changes into mature follicle or Graafian follicle. The secondary oocyte forms a new membrane called zona pellucida surrounding it. The Graafian follicle now ruptures to release at secondary oocyte ovum from the ovary by process called ovulation. Can you identify major differences between spermatogenesis and oogenesis? A diagrammatic representation of spermatogenesis and oogenesis is given below. 3.4 Menstrual cycle. The reproductive cycle in female primates like monkeys, apes, and human beings is called menstrual cycle. The first menstruation begins at the puberty and it is called menarche. In human females, menstruation is repeated at an average interval of about 28 to 29 days, and the cycle of events starting from one menstruation till the next one is called menstrual cycle. One ovum is released during the middle of each menstrual cycle. The major events of the menstrual cycle are shown in figure 3.9. The cycle starts with the menstrual phase when menstrual flow occurs and it lasts for 3 to 5 days. The menstrual flow results due to breakdown of endometrial lining of the uterus and its blood vessel which forms liquid that comes out through vagina. Menstruation only occurs if the released ovum is not fertilized. Lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy. However, it might also cause due to some other underlying causes like stress, poor health, etc. The menstrual phase is followed by follicular phase. During this phase, the primary follicles in the ovary grow to become a fully mature Graafian follicle, and simultaneously the endometrium of the uterus regenerates through proliferation. These changes in the ovary and the uterus are induced by changes in the levels of pituitary and ovarian hormone. The secretion of gonadotrophins LH and FSH increases gradually during the follicular phase and stimulate follicular development as well as secretion of estrogen by the growing follicle. Both LH and FSH attain a peak level in the middle of cycle about 14th day. Rapid secretion of LH leading to its maximum level during the mid cycle called LH surge induces rupture of Graafian follicle and thereby the release of ovum ovulation. The ovulation or ovulatory phase is followed by a luteal phase during which the remaining part of the Graafian follicle transform as the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum secretes large amount of progesterone which is essential for maintenance of the endometrium. Such an endometrium is necessary for implantation of the fertilized ovum and other events of pregnancy. During pregnancy, all events of the menstrual cycle stop and there is no menstruation. In the absence of fertilization, the corpus luteum degenerates. This causes disintegration of the endometrium leading to menstruation, marking a new cycle. In human beings, menstrual cycle ceases around 50 years of age, that is termed as menopause. Cyclic menstruation is an indicator of normal reproductive phase and extent between menarche and menopause. 3.5 Fertilization and implantation. During copulation or coitus, semen is released by the penis into vagina. Insemination. The motile sperms swim rapidly, pass through the cervix, enter into uterus, and finally reach the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. The ovum released by the ovary is transported to the ampullary region where fertilization takes place. Fertilization can only occur if the ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously to the ampullary region. This is the reason why not all copulation leads to fertilization and pregnancy. The process of fusion of a sperm with an ovum is called fertilization. During fertilization, a sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida layer of the ovum and induces changes in the membrane that blocks the entry of additional sperm. Thus, it ensures that only one sperm can fertilize an ovum. The secretion of the acrosome helps the sperms enter into cytoplasm of the ovum through zona pellucida and the plasma membrane. This induces the completion of the meiotic division of the secondary oocyte. The second meiotic division is also unequal and results in the formation of second polar body and an haploid ovum. Soon the haploid nucleus of the sperm and that of the ovum fuse together to form a diploid zygote. How many chromosomes will be there in the zygote? One has to remember that the sex of the baby has been decided at this stage itself. Let us see how. As you know, the chromosome pattern in the human female is XX and that in the male is XY. Therefore, all the haploid gametes or ova produced by the female have sex chromosome X, whereas the male gamete sperms The sex chromosomes could be either X or Y. Hence, 50% of sperm carry the X chromosome while the 50% carry the Y. After fusion of male and female gametes, the zygote would either carry XX or XY depending on whether the sperm carrying X or Y fertilized the ovum. The zygote carrying XX would develop into female baby and XY would form a male. You will learn more about the chromosomal patterns in chapter 5. That is why scientifically it is correct to say that the sex of the baby is determined by the father and not by the mother. The meiotic division starts as the zygote moves through the isthmus of the oviduct called cleavage toward the uterus and forms 2, 4, 8, 16 daughter cells called blastomeres. The embryo with 8 to 16 blastomeres is also called morula. The morula continues to divide and transforms into blastocysts. As it moves further into the uterus, the blastomeres in the blastocyst are arranged into an outer layer called trophoblast and an inner group of cell attached to the trophoblast called the inner cell mass. The trophoblast layer then gets attached to the endometrium and the inner cell mass get differentiated as the embryo. After attachment, the uterine cells divide rapidly and covers the blastocyst. As a result, blastocysts become embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. This is called implantation and it's lead to the pregnancy. 3.6 Pregnancy and embryonic development. After implantation, finger-like projection appear on the trophoblast called chorionic villi which are surrounded by the uterine tissue and maternal blood. The chorionic villi and uterine tissue become interdigitated with each other and jointly form a structural and functional unit between developing embryo, fetus, and maternal body called placenta. The placenta facilitates the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the embryo and also removal of carbon dioxide and excretory waste material produced by the embryo. The placenta is connected to the embryo through an umbilical cord which helps in the transport of substances to and from the embryo. Placenta also act as an endocrine tissue and produces several hormones like human chorionic gonadotropin HCG, human placental lactogen HPL, estrogen, progestogens, etc. In the latter phase of pregnancy, the hormone called relaxin is also secreted by the ovary. Let us remember that HCG, HPL, and relaxing are produced in women only during pregnancy. In addition, during pregnancy, the level of hormone like estrogen, progestogens, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, etc., are increased several folds in the maternal blood. Increased production of these hormones is essential for supporting the fetal growth, metabolic changes in the mother, and maintenance of the pregnancy. Immediately after implantation, the inner cell mass or embryo differentiates into an outer layer called ectoderm and an inner layer endoderm. A mesoderm soon appears between the ectoderm and the endoderm. These three layers give rise to all tissues or organs in adult. It needs to be mentioned here that the inner cell mass contains a certain cell called stem cells which have the potency to give rise to all the tissues and organs. The human pregnancy lasts 9 months. Do you know for how many months pregnancy lasts in dogs, elephant or cats? Find out in human beings after 1 month of pregnancy the embryo's heart is formed. The first sign of growing fetus may be noticed by listening the heart sound carefully through the stethoscope. By the end of the second month of pregnancy the fetus develop limbs and digits. By the end of 12 week first trimester most of the major organ system are formed. For example, limb and external genital organ are well developed. First movements of the fetus and appearance of hair on the head are usually observed during the fifth month. By the end of about 24 weeks, end of the second trimester, the body is covered with fine hair, eyelids separate, and eyelashes are formed. By the end of 9 months of the pregnancy, the fetus is fully developed and ready for delivery. 3.7 Parturition and lactation. The average duration of human pregnancy is about 9 months, which is called gestation period. Vigorous contraction of the uterus at the end of pregnancy causes expulsion or delivery of the fetus. This, proc- this process of delivery of the fetus or childbirth is called parturition. Parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. The signal for parturition originates from fully developed fetus and the placenta, which include mild uterine contraction called fetal ejection reflex. This trigger release of oxytocin from the maternal pituitary. Oxytocin acts on the uterine muscle and causes stronger uterine contraction, which in turn stimulates further secretion of oxytocin. The stimulatory reflex between the uterine contraction and oxytocin secretion continues, resulting in the stronger and stronger contraction. This leads to expulsion of the baby out of the uterus through the birth canal, parturition. Soon after the infant is delivered, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. The mammary gland of the female undergo differentiation during pregnancy and starts producing milk toward the end of the pregnancy by the process called lactation. This helps the mother in feeding the newborn. The milk produced by during the initial few days of lactation is called colostrum, which contains several antibodies absolutely essential to develop resistance for the newborn babies. Breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended by doctor for bringing up a healthy body. Thank you.